going on, you little goobers? Zap here, and what you're watching right now is a little bit of this Doom 3 BFG edition gameplay. It is 4 in the morning, and I just got through playing this just so I could have some sort of like gameplay footage in the background while I discuss this particular topic. And you can tell clearly by my jerky movements that I was still kind of like afraid while playing this game. Shoutouts to like decade old games still scaring the living dog shit out of you. That means that they did a really good job with the atmosphere. But anyway, moving forward, I was asked a question by a viewer of mine. Shoutouts to Bionic Barbie. She asked me, "Hey, why did people back in the old Gears of War days? Why did people dislike you?" And she also asked about Cookie Monster too. She said, "Why did people just dislike you and Cookie Monster so much?" And you know what? When she asked me that question, I didn't really have the most solid answer. You know, there's a bunch of different reasons why people particularly wouldn't like me, right? Back then, I kind of gave off this very like arrogant and cocky demeanor, which over time it turns out people just actually enjoyed. As much as they hated it, they loved the cocky demeanor because without it, they thought that I was actually just really boring. But I didn't have a solid answer to give her, and the only thing I could think of was that the people that were talking the most trash about myself and Cookie were just jealous. And looking back on it, it made perfect sense, right? Let me give you guys a little bit of a perspective into this. Back when we were playing and streaming games like Gears of War 2 and Gears of War 3, Cookie and myself, we were getting quite a bit of attention, a little bit of notoriety. I had my Friday Night Fights thing going, and we had a lot of teams that were participating, and I was spending a lot of my own money to give the winning teams Microsoft points and things like that. It was great. It was fucking fantastic. I was doing my thing for the community, and I didn't ask for anything in return. I didn't give a fuck. I was doing it because I was truly a Gears of War fan, and I didn't really give a shit. But Friday Night Fights and Gears of War was very successful for me, and Gears of War was also very successful for Cookie Monster as well. So a lot of times when we would stream Gears of War 3 in particular, either myself or Cookie would get like the highest number of views on Twitch, and we were beating out a lot of the people that would consistently, I mean like daily, stream Gears of War. And we're talking like some really hardcore players that were doing scrims and shit like that. They wouldn't really be pulling the viewers that me and Cookie were at the time. And there are a lot of infamous screenshots of the top viewed Gears of War stream at the time, and we'd be like, watch, if I get on, then watch me be at the top. And sure enough, one of us would be at the top. But yeah, man, there were only like a few guys that would get more than Cookie or myself, and those would be like obviously like the guys like Butter and who the fuck else was there, Gold Glove or Cream, guys like that. They would get the biggest numbers. But for small YouTuber type guys, for us to be streaming Gears of War, and get the highest number of viewers when the big names weren't on was still kind of a big deal. So we would get people that would come into our streams just to talk shit. Guys coming in saying all kinds of reckless stuff like, "Yo, you guys suck, you ain't shit, you don't deserve your viewers," and blah blah blah. And I'm like, "Yo, man, I'm just trying to fucking stream this. I'm relaxing. You need to calm that down. Get that bullshit out of here." And these same people would follow Cookie and I from match to match, trying to match up with us. And this was before you could actually delay your stream. So people would actually like stream snipe legit and get matched up with you game after game after game. and it was fucking annoying, right? So I don't know, man. Like, people just did not like what Cookie and I were doing, and what we were doing was just playing ranked. Like, we would get in our own respective parties, or sometimes he and I would party up with each other, and we would just play. And we had people that just did not like the fact that no matter how hard they tried, they just couldn't fucking cut it. They were either boring, or they played really shitty, or they just couldn't expand their fan base for one reason or another. You know, me and Cookie, we went into Twitch streaming with a YouTube fan base already like on lock, and it just worked out that way, right? So the only thing I could think of was that these people were just bitter that they couldn't do what he and I were doing at the time. And I'm pretty sure there's other people out there that kind of felt the same way, you know. But basically the point I'm trying to make is that the Gears of War scene is actually just possibly one of the most toxic that I've ever been in, right? And I've played a lot of games over the years. I've played tons and tons of tons. And like the only other gaming community that's probably as toxic as the Gears of War community is the fucking Counter-Strike community. They're pretty shitty, right? But that's neither here nor there. The Gears of War scene is just so disgusting. Because of my most recent video, you know, the one where I talked about the Gears of War 4 beta and gave my thoughts on it, I've had one guy tell me that I was terrible and that they don't need shitty players like me in the community anymore. I had one guy called me a fucking nigger because of my opinion about the Gears of War 4 beta, and I had another guy insult me and try to bring my family into this because I didn't like Gears of War. Like, what the fuck? Because I don't like a game, that means that you can just attack me and my family and, you know, call me all kinds of names, right? It doesn't really matter to me. I blocked these people and I kept it moving. But, you know, the fact still remains that no matter how many years I can stay in this community, the same old shit happens. The same immaturity still, you know, shows its fucking ugly head. You know, and technically I'm not even in this fucking community anymore. I left. I'm done. With a good fucking reason, because these man children are just they just have a mental illness. They clearly have a mental illness, right? That's keeping them from growing up. They're still pieces of shit, right? Now, by no means am I a fucking saint. I'm not the role model for how to be an adult over the internet. You know, I talk trash. You know, I teabag in matches, you know. But for the most part, I've grown up. Zappa from fucking 2007, 2008 is totally different from Zap 2016. And those of you guys who have been following me for that long, you know that I'm a lot different than how I was back then compared to how I am now. So you understand this wholeheartedly. But, you know, some things change. I've changed, but the scene just hasn't changed. And it's not only from my Twitch streams and my YouTube channel that I see this. I see this on Twitter, and I also see it in other Twitch streams. You know, I watch the Gears of War streams. Whenever I watch the Gears of War streams, it's not very long before I have to, like, make it full screen so that I can't see the chat. Because the chat is actually fucking cancer. It is AIDS. A Gears of War Twitch stream is actually just legitimate AIDS. And it's highly fucking contagious. And you know, I feel sorry for anyone who is trying to get into the Gears of War community, because it's not the most welcoming. And I'm not gonna lump everybody under one umbrella, because I know that everyone's not the same. But the Gears of War community has some of the worst people in it. Some of the worst in gaming. And I feel sorry for you guys. The newcomers. Those of you who have been in for a while, you have tougher skin. You can take it. Blah, blah, blah. But for some of the new blood, just try to, shrug it off, block people, mute them, do whatever you possibly can. I want Gears of War to get better, and aside from the actual game mechanics, that's all gonna start with the community itself. I don't know, man. Like, honestly, it's been over 10 years now, I believe, and I don't really see any sort of real change in sight for Gears. So I don't know. Hopefully I can get proved wrong. I would love to be proved wrong. Hell, I would love for Gears of War 4 to turn out way better than I'd anticipated, because then I'd probably want to play it. But as of right now, negative. That's a big fat negative, Ghost Rider. And yeah, man, that's really all I have. For those of you guys who are still sticking with Gears of War, try to be, I don't know, less of a fuck in your community. That's really all I have to say about Gears for now, at least until Gears of War 4 comes out and I see what the finished product looks like. But other than that, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.
Electromagnetic pulses have knocked out the electrical systems in this area. Watch out. A big one could knock out our lines. There's one. What was that? Stay close. That was close. Hold on! Don't let it get me! God, it's dead. Hang on. Here comes another. Kill it! That was close. Come on, I can't wait. Oh God, don't let it get me! Thank God it's dead. There's the exit.